So in case you missed it, the Jazwares Vader Helmet. If you think this is cool, check this out. A modded out one. Check out these Tusks. Genuine Beskar, or aircraft aluminum, one of the two, doesn't matter. And look at this grill. Yes, now I have metal braces. No wait, they're not braces. I don't have braces, you have braces, nerd. Anyway, so I modded these out and it's super awesome now. So this part is from a stove vent that goes up under your microwave. Like $10, super easy. And these I stole from that Rubies Supreme Vader. The only thing supreme about it was maybe the Tusks, and I stole them. So now it's Rubies Not So Supreme, it's a cheese pizza, not very good helmet. That's your new name.
Here's how I made the metal mouth grill. So out of the box, it looks like this on the inside. And what I did is I pulled that little mask out and unscrewed it. And here's what it looks like. It has small ventilation holes that really just want to fog your mask up. So I use a Dremel with a thin cutting disc, and I gently work around the edges of this mask and gradually cut it out. And I use an X-Acto blade to kind of work out the rest of it. Then after I'm done cutting around all the edges, I go ahead and I use a little trimmer and I trim off the edges, and then I do some sanding. And then I come back in with the Dremel again and a different kind of sanding tool. And then I come back again with a Dremel and kind of a polishing tool. And I polish it up. And I progress to the above stove microwave air filter. And I drill out the little screw. I open it up and I look at what's inside there and I check out the pieces and I decide which pieces I want. And then I start tracing them on there. I use the big kind of hole bit. And then I get my little clippers. I come and I cut out what I traced with my Sharpie. And then I check it out and I fit it on that hole. And I kind of trim up the edges a little bit. And I trim out other bits. I trim out the top side and the bottom side. I make sure that I have one of the holes centered. And it all looks good. Now I transition to what I choose for the back side. And this ends up being a little smaller than I think is ideal. It looks great, but it doesn't allow for the best circulation. But anyway, this is what I choose. And I end up drawing around, tracing those out. And I cut my two pieces, traced off the original pieces. And I realize that they fit. And then I go ahead and I prime them. And then I use a hairdryer to quick dry them. And then it allows me to quickly transition to the back, prime them again, and then quick dry them, and then immediately paint them in black on the front. And I do a couple coats and quick dry them again, and then I switch over to the back and I quick dry them yet again. And then I realize I need to putty up my little face a little bit because I made a little some gouges in there, and so I putty it in. I didn't really have to. It would have been hidden inside the mask. I realized that later, but whatever. Anyway, so I put that putty in there, smooth it out, dry it out. And then later I come back and prime it and spray paint it.
So I've got this undermounted. Here it's top mounted, while the other one that I painted black, they're both back mounted.
So this is how it looks when you mount it in the mask. To remove the tusks on the Rubies Supreme Vader, all I did was just grab and slowly pull, and it came right out. I matched up its diameter with the drill bit. About 15/64 is good enough. So I drilled out the holes. I tried to salvage those rubber tusks, but it just didn't quite work out. No matter.
Okay, maybe my thing here is off or something, but I got it fitting fine in the 15/64, but I can't get it to fit in the mask with a 15/64 drill. So I went ahead and drilled up to 1/4, and now it fits. Not as snug as I'd like it. I imagine if I'd gone with 15/64 and then put this in a heat gun and then slid it in there, then it would have just pushed right through and probably stayed snug. Easy peasy. Just gonna put my grill back in and adhere these.
So here I used a dual fan system with they're 10 by 30 millimeters. They're 5-volt fans. I use a 3.7 volt LiPo battery. I use a 5-volt voltage booster to amplify the 3.7 volts, but you can get away without doing it. That's really optional. I also use a power switch, and I put a power splitter to go out to both fans. Here's a link on how you can make this yourself. And I put some gaff tape around the edge of the metal mouth mesh so it doesn't cut up my face.
Oh my lord, Vader, is EFX A New Hope crying because Jazwares Vader looks so much cooler? I think so. Huzzah!
Until next time, like, comment, subscribe. Don't be lame. I'm out.